She stood at my gate, clutching a clipboard like it was a weapon. "You don't belong here," she barked, her voice slicing through the still morning air. I just stared at her over my coffee, unsure if this was real or some kind of bizarre joke. "This property isn't even under your HOA, I said evenly. She smirked like I'd just admitted guilt. "That's exactly what every violator says." She flipped open a folded document, her name scrawled across the top, HOA President Karen. I almost laughed, but something in her stare made my stomach knot. Her SUV sat sideways across my driveway, blocking me in. Behind her stood two men with shiny, fake-looking badges clipped to their belts. One of them was recording me on his phone. "You've been warned before," she said, pretending to read from her clipboard. "Unauthorized residence. HOA Code 14A violation." "Ma'am," I said quietly, "this is county land, my land. Your HOA stops 2 lots before here." She leaned closer to the gate, lowering her voice. "Not anymore," she whispered. "We've extended our authority." I looked at her, realizing she truly believed it. "You can't just invent new borders, Karen. This isn't Monopoly." Her face reddened. "You're trespassing in my community," she screamed, pulling out her phone. "Who are you calling?" I asked. She ignored me. "Yes, this is an emergency," she said into the phone. "We've got a hostile squatter refusing to vacate HOA property." A chill ran down my spine. She wasn't bluffing. Within minutes, engines roared up the hill, black SUVs, lights flashing. Men in dark uniforms stepped out, HOA security stenciled across their vests. Karen stood proud beside them, arms folded. "Open the gate," one of the men shouted through a loudspeaker. I didn't move. Karen smirked. "You should have left quietly." But as the fake authority filled my driveway, something inside me shifted. I wasn't scared anymore, because she had no idea who she'd just called out. Engines rumbled louder as the SUVs parked side by side, sealing off the entrance. 6 men stepped out, hands hovering near their belts like they were about to raid a compound. Karen strutted to the middle of my driveway, chin high. "Officers, this man is illegally occupying HOA property," she declared, pointing at me. "Remove him immediately." The lead officer, big guy, built like a linebacker, looked at her, then at me. "Sir, open the gate. We need to talk." I studied their patches. No county insignia, no department name, just bold white letters spelling HOA enforcement. I almost laughed. "You guys even real?" Karen gasped. "How dare you insult our security division? These men are trained professionals." "Yeah," I said, stepping closer. "Professionals at pretending to be cops." The man's face tightened. "Step back from the gate or you'll what?" I cut in sharply. "Arrest me on my own property?" Karen snapped her fingers. "Do it. I authorize it." One of the fake officers started forward, until I slowly raised my phone. "Before you take another step," I said, "you should know this is being streamed live." They froze. Karen's eyes widened, then she laughed. "You think anyone cares? This community follows my rules." "Your rules stop where my property begins," I replied. "And the sheriff's office confirmed that 2 weeks ago." That made her flinch. You called the sheriff?" "Didn't have to," I said. "He's my cousin." Silence fell heavy. The fake officers exchanged nervous looks. "You're bluffing," she muttered. "Maybe," I said, showing her my phone. The live stream was already blowing up. Neighbors, county locals, even a few reporters from my renovation blog. Comments flashed. "Those aren't real cops. Call the sheriff. She's finished." Karen's confidence started cracking. "Turn that off right now," she screamed. But before I could answer, real sirens echoed in the distance. Sharper, louder, unmistakably official. Karen froze. "Who called them?" I met her eyes. "You did, remember?" Her face drained of color as 2 real police cruisers appeared, lights painting the trees red and blue. The fake officers stiffened, their plastic badges glinting under the flashing lights. Karen rushed toward the real cops. "Finally! Arrest him!" He's trespassing on HOA property. The first officer stepped out, calm and solid, the kind of authority you can't fake. Ma'am, we got multiple calls about a disturbance. Who exactly is trespassing? She pointed at me. Him. I'm the HOA President, and he's violating several community codes. The cop squinted past her toward the gate, then at the lake behind my house. That land? He asked. Yes, she snapped. All of it. He raised an eyebrow. Ma'am, this parcel isn't part of your HOA. It's registered county land, privately owned. Karen blinked. That can't be right. I have documents. The officer took her clipboard, skimmed through, and frowned. These are guidelines, not legal filings. You have no jurisdiction here. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then one of her fake officers muttered, "Told you this was a bad idea." Karen whirled on him. "Shut up and do your job." But the real cops were already closing in. One tapped the patch on the fake officer's vest. "Where'd you get this uniform?" He hesitated. "We're contracted by the HOA." The officer's hand went to his radio. "Dispatch, we may have impersonators on scene." Karen panicked. "No. They're legitimate. They work for me." The cop stared at her. "You hired people to pose as law enforcement?" "I didn't pose. I just wanted him gone. He was aggressive." "I didn't say a word. I just leaned against the gate, watching it unfold like a movie." The real cops weren't smiling anymore. One turned to me. "Sir, thank you for staying calm. Can you show proof of ownership?" I slid a folder through the bars, survey maps, deeds, registration. He looked it over, nodded. "Everything checks out. This is his land." Karen's face went white. No, that's impossible." "Ma'am," the officer said, "step aside while we sort this out." I crossed my arms. "Still want to call this your community?" Her voice trembled. "You think this is over? You think you've won?" I smiled slightly. "Oh, it's not over. You haven't seen what's on my security footage." Her eyes darted. "What footage?" "The footage of your officers breaking my mailbox and cutting my fence last night." Her jaw dropped. The officer turned to her. "Is that true, ma'am?" And just like that, her false empire crumbled. Her men were being questioned, their fake badges and cheap radios confiscated. Even the HOA warrant turned out to be a printed Word doc. The officers lined them up beside their SUVs. Karen tried to slip away, muttering, "This is a mistake. I was just protecting the neighborhood." A cop stopped her. "Ma'am, you're under investigation for filing a false report and hiring impersonators. Step aside." She went pale. "You can't arrest me. I am the HOA." The officer's voice was calm. "Not anymore." I finally opened the gate and stepped forward, gravel crunching under my boots. She glared at me like I'd betrayed her. "You set me up." I smiled. "No, Karen. You set yourself up." Her eyes shifted toward my house, catching sight of the blinking camera. "That footage's been live for 20 minutes, I said. "Half the county's seen it." She turned as neighbors appeared down the road, phones raised, whispering, recording, the same people she'd bullied with her HOA threats. One even clapped. As the officer read her rights, I felt the anger drain out, replaced by relief. My land was safe. Peace restored. As they led her to the cruiser, she shouted, "You'll regret this. This neighborhood will fall apart without me." I looked toward the lake, sunlight dancing over the water. "Funny," I said quietly. "It's looked better since you showed up." A few people chuckled. Karen was shoved into the back seat, still ranting about authority. The fake officers followed right after. One real cop handed me back my papers with a grin. "You handled that better than most." I nodded. Didn't fight for this country to be told I can't live on my own land. He smiled. "Can't argue with that." As they drove off, the lake shimmered like nothing had happened. I walked up the driveway, looked back at the gate one last time. Sometimes, the loudest people fall the hardest, especially when they mess with the wrong landowner. And as I closed the gate, I whispered to myself, HOA or not, this land answers to me. She tried to own my property, but she's the one who got owned.